now it's the first day. So we're going to be laying out just a regular label that's going to go on top of a little medical marijuana canister. That's our gig for today. So let's pull up Job in Illustrator and get started. So I'm going to come over to my document where I've got my actual initial setup. I've got the inner circle is going to be where the label cuts. The outer circle is going to be for the bleed area. That's going to be nothing that you want to print and have legitimately read should go past the inner circle. So we'll make sure that's a thing and we don't go past it. Alright, so there's something I'm missing from the other document, which I'll go grab. There you go. I need this element, and then there's also another element that I'm going to grab, which is not the background, not you, or you, or you. In fact, we'll move you guys out of the way. I want you. Just drop that in. Let's see, is it thinking about it? Let's see, paste. There we go. That's a lot of stuff. So we're going to get rid of that. Oh, came in multiple times. Let's see. So we're going to get rid of those. I'm going to take this one and we're going to just shrink it down to fit the proper size. So let's do that. And we just run it basically barely peeking out behind that first circle because I want it to have like a proper looking drop shadow. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and with my line tools, I'm going to center it to the layout, move it behind the initial circle, and then I'm going to just make it larger until, oops, that's too far behind. There we go. I don't want that much, so I'm going to shrink it down a little bit more. That's pretty good. So now we've got this. Now this little circular deal here that I have, I'm not really going to keep that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create like a cool looking kind of circular stroke to go around it, but we'll do that in a minute. So let's work with the rest of the elements that we have, pull those in. There we go. So we're going to need just these two elements. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a clipping mask around this image of the popsicle, because that's going to be the kind of like the main image for the flavor. It's going to be called creamsicle, so you know, you got to get creative with that and whatnot. Alright, so let's center this again. Actually, let's group it. No, hold on. Let's not do that. Let's undo. Then let's deselect the actual popsicle itself. Let's center the frame, the circular frame that I'm going to use for a mask. I'm going to center that and then shrink it to size. Okay. Then I'm going to bring it to the front or put it to the top. Object, arrange, bring to front so it's above the popsicle. Then I'm going to go in and let's see, we've already got the frame locked, so I'm going to lock everything else but the circle. And the popsicle. One more element is unlocked, so let's do that. Let's grab that alone, which is the shadow behind it. I'm going to grab that by itself and lock that too. I only want to be able to work with these two elements. So now that I have the clear frame with no, basically it's a clear frame, it has no attributes, so no stroke, no fill. And then I'm going to go into object, clipping mask, and I'm going to create, make, sorry. And as you can see now, our creamsicle is cropped to the circle, which is what we need. So now I'm going to come back out of here, but it's not in the right position, so if I select it, it's only going to let me select the actual circle itself, the frame, the mask. So I'm going to go to Object, Clipping Mask, and edit the contents. That'll let me touch the creamsicle itself. And then we can kind of, we're going to need to shrink it down because I want to see the stick of the creamsicle as well, because it's kind of like aesthetically pleasing. Let's rotate it a little bit. There we go. Nope. Still need to see a little more of that stick. Now what I could do, if I was trying to be fancy, which I don't know how fancy I'm going to get, but I could actually make it so that the top part of the sickle comes out. I may do that later, just to give it a more of a three-dimensional look, but still have the stick cropped. I'll show you guys how to do that in a bit. So we've got that now. That's good enough for the present. So now, what I want to do is I want to get like a nice looking pattern for the inside. So what I've done was I went ahead and I've grabbed some of my free vector stuff, and I'm going to take a look at some of these backgrounds, and I'm just going to go ahead and plug them in and source them. So I basically went to, you know, any number of free sites that offer, you know, free vector graphics. I think I got these all from FreePic, and I'll be attributing all of the authors and all of the contributors that created the content that I'm going to be using. I'll attribute to them after the video is done, because I appreciate it. So this is really cool right here. I like this look. So I'm going to grab it, but what I want to do is I also want to modify it because I need it to be the right color. Creamsicles aren't green, so now this is done with the gradient mesh. So if I'm gonna edit the color, I'm gonna have to do it point by point, which is okay, but it's just a little bit time consuming. But you know, I mean, hey, sometimes it's what you gotta do, right? So let's see how it's gonna look if I do that. So you can see I'm starting to plug in some orange. Of course, obviously, the point of it is not to have the same looking orange. Alright, this is going to prove to be a hassle to change, so I may change my mind and not do it. We'll see. Either way, I'm going to need to do it, so let's focus. There we go. Let's pull that out. That might make it easier. I just brought it to the front layer and kind of, I'm going to just grab the individual points and kind of lighten them, and actually no, they should darken as they come down. I want to kind of keep it to the same color tones as the original, just a different shade. We're not trying to get too crazy fancy up in here, we're just trying to make something orange, you know. Got that. I'm going to change that color. Actually, that's going to be looking really good when I'm done. I think it's going to be perfect. There we go. So now this point is going to have to be like almost, no, that's a little bit too, okay, that's good. I may have to add a couple of more points of articulation if I see that it's not really being color balanced. But for now, it's doing the trick, and I'm happy. So very happy. I'd be happy if I can select that point. What are you doing? There you go. Excellent. Alright, so now let's come down here. This is going to have to be like super light orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that orange, but I'm going to actually augment it a little bit. I want it to be lighter, so we're going to go a little bit closer to the white. And then we're going to grab that and pull it in. Oops, grab it and pull it in there, and then just color it that. There we go. Select that point. Stop that. There we go. Okay. And the rest, and so on and so forth. Now, I could probably get a lot more intricate and kind of like go in and make sure that I'm selecting even because there's another shade, I believe there's another element on top of this that's also coloring it as well, but we're going to try to get away with not doing all of that jazz. We're just going to try to use whatever we need to get this done quickly. Time is money, and you're never making enough of it, right? So expedient means at all times, if possible. Okay, there is an element sitting on top of this that I gotta mess with, so I'm gonna do that next. But for now, this is looking to be almost what I want. In fact, this orange might be a little bit too dark, so let's go with the lighter orange to lighten it up a little bit. Better. Much better. Okay, so now there we go. So now you can see this element right here is kind of also giving it another color. What if I get rid of that and that and that? There's a lot of that to get rid of, so we're going to just get rid of all of that. There we go. Now it's starting to look right. I don't really need that shadow variation down at the bottom anyway. I just kind of really want that orange look, which we're getting to. Oops, that wasn't right. Okay, now there's more. I know it. I can sense it. Let's move this out of the way and see what happens. Okay, so there is something down there. Alright, so I'm going to grab this whole element, the one that I'm working with, the one that's on top, and I'm going to lock it so I can get to what's underneath, which is this. There you are, superstar. Aha! Found you. You cannot hide from me. Dump that. Dump that. Come in. We're going to now edit this to be that. And that's going to get rid of the last little remnants of the green that we don't really want. Okay, so there's our orange background that we're going to be using for the job. Now I'm basically just kind of going and cleaning it up, dumping all the extra arbitrary stuff that might change the hue a little bit. Then we'll come into the circle here, because these guys, oh, oof. All right, here we go. Let's color these properly. So it's going to be light. No, it's going to be almost like white. Yeah. Let's open this up and let's get a lighter orange even still. Almost to like there. Okay. Drag you over. Color you that. Okay, cool. So this is going to be like the regular mid-range orange. This is going to be a little bit mid-range as well. Here it's going to be the lightest orange. Wow, this might not have been the best thing to do, so I'm going to do this. Because, you know what? I have no time for shenanigans. I'm going to go ahead and just later on with you, pal. Oh, whoops, wrong select tool. Let's go with the white arrow tool. See you. See you. Oh, you don't want that shadow either. Okay, great. Great. See you, and we will see you next time. There's a little bit of green there, just kind of, you know what, that's probably going to get cropped out anyway. So everything's looking okay. Now I'm just gonna kind of go back in here real quick and just lighten this section up because I don't really like that. I don't like that. It's a little bit too dark. I know I'm a perfectionist, but I can't help it, man. You know, it's a problem. It's a struggle. But hey, what are you gonna do, right? Alright, you know what? I'm done. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna give up. So now I'm going to take this now. Grab it, yoink. The whole shamboozle, we're gonna copy it, and we're gonna bring it over to our document, which is here. So inside of this now, we're gonna, oops. Okay. We're gonna copy the circle that has the creamsicle. We're gonna release the compound, dump it, paste in our background, which is there. There's a lot of elements that go with this thing. Good thing we're gonna mask it all out. Let's move this over here, somewhere around our circle. Send it to the back. Grab it and the circle, both. And, ooh, why not? Oh, I know why. It could be because stuff is grouped already. That's okay. We don't worry about that. We're gonna fix it. Bring it to the front. Move it over to the right position, which is about there. And about now. There you go. It will cooperate. So now we're gonna take it. We want to fill that. So we're gonna go to Object, Clipping Mask, edit the contents. Grab the, I forget what the name of this tool is. It's the Free Transform tool. That's a great name for it because we're gonna freely transform stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and drop this in like so. Hit OK, we're done. Now this should bring the whole thing into view. Okay, well, why not? Oh, I think this thing's already masked. So let's release it. Yeah, it was. Let's grab this. And we're gonna just enlarge that portion like that. Now we should be able to remask it and have it work properly. Almost so close, it's ridiculous how close we are. So come back out, grab this again, and just a skosh. You know what a skosh is? It's just a eensy, weensy, minute little bit. I had a lady say that to me once. She said, "Oh, just move it up a skosh." I was like, "What in the heck is a skosh, ma'am?" And she had an answer, and I was happy with it. So we're like just quite. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit bigger because there's a little piece of crap that's like kind of annoying me up at the top. I don't know what it is or why it's doing it, but I'm over it already. So we're just gonna get rid of it. Not get rid of it. Sorry. We're just gonna go ahead and make it work. Come back. Undo move. There you go. Select everything. Okay. Very good. Just nudging it to get it in the right position before I mask it. So I don't have to keep editing the contents, and then we're gonna mask. There we go. Now we've got our nice, proper looking orange circle background here, which we're going to drop in behind that piece right now. Drop that behind that now. Alright, now you might be saying, but Jason, no, it's a little bit too dark. It's too similar to the creamsicle on the front. Well, to that I would say shut up. I know that. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't tell you to shut up. What I am going to do is I'm going to fix it and make it look right. Alright, so we're going to bring up our transparency layer. Our transparency window, I'm sorry. And let's monkey with it. Let's play around with it and see what it does if we change stuff. Let's just fiddle with it. That's right, we're gonna fiddle. So if it changes the screen, that sucked. We don't want to do that. Let's go to lighten. That sucked. But what if we just reduce the opacity of the lightning? That sucked even more, so that's not right. Let's try overlay. Now, there's probably somebody out there who's all pro, who's like, bro, you should be doing this. It's like, why are you even messing around with it? Because, bro, I don't remember. That's fine. Okay, you know what? We're not going to mess with the blending options. We're just going to go ahead and reduce my opacity a little bit. That should be fine. It's fine. All right, great. So now we've got that. We've got our nice looking popsicle. We've got background in there, and I may or may not change the color of the background portion itself, like the little starburst. Depends on my level of current laziness, which is acutely high right now. So we may have to, figure that out later. But so far I'm liking this. So now I'm going to now I need to add my text. So we're going to add like orange creamsicle or something, whatever it's supposed to say, whatever the copy's going to say. Let's get a font. And also, because my computer's lagging up and everything is taking so long, I think I'm done with you guys for now. I'll give you more in another installment, but right now I just really want to get this job done. So thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Peace.